have one of the newest Visconti Van Gogh pens to show you today. And this excites me, and I'm going to tell you why. If I am a collector of a series of pens, it is the Van Gogh series from Visconti. I have almost all of them. I think I'm missing two. I think it's two. The one I have to show you today is the Visconti Van Gogh Flowering Plum Orchard. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? I love the resins that are used for these pens. They're very swirly. They in a way mimic the brushwork that Vincent used in his paintings. And I'm a huge Vincent Van Gogh fan. I know that sounds kind of cliche. I mean, everybody and their mom is a Vincent Van Gogh fan, but I really am a fan of his work. He was really just a genius, and he was a genius colorist as well. This is the newest in the whole Van Gogh Visconti series. And Flowering Plum Orchard, this is the second Japanese series that Visconti has featured in the Van Gogh collection. In proper light, there's even like a little bit of like shimmer within the resin too. And I really love the multifaceted aspect of it. I think it's so lovely. The painting was completed in 1887, the one that this pen is based on. And it was based on a Japanese print that Vincent used to collect Japanese prints. And then, you know, he really was into Japanese made, as were many artists at this time during the late 19th century. You know, this was new and fresh artwork coming over to them from Japan, and they were fascinated by it. And so a lot of these artists would mimic some of these aspects of Japanese made into their work. So Vincent liked to copy them and recreate a lot of these works as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the box because it has the artwork that we're talking about on it. So it's got this, oops, just dropped something. So it has this Visconti outer sleeve on it, and there is an image of the painting that we're talking about. This is only a partial print of that image. Colors of the pen match it very nicely. Just underneath here, this has all the literature and stuff in it, so I'll go ahead and open that. Look at it, not a whole lot of, just a little booklet really you know, it talks about the Visconti Van Gogh collection. So that's kind of nice to have because, you know, they have all the matching inks that go with it. And you can pretty much go through here and be like, oh, whoa, now I know a little more about the collection. Very cool. Yeah, and that's about it. And then you put the booklet up and you forget that it exists. Pen did come in this nice, crinkly, high-class, precious material sleeve, this plastic sleeve. It's very noisy. Inside there is it's a bookmark that matches the pen, and then a color coordinated ink that goes with the pen as well. And that is the ink that I have in this pen right now. Let me grab my book because I want to show you the painting, the complete painting. Well, I'll be right back. Hold on, I'll be right back. Stay right there. Stay right there. You can look at my shoes. All right, yeah, that's my treadmill that I use every morning. I'm coming back. I'm back now. Hi, I'm back. Now let me try to locate. So this is a book I picked up at the Van Gogh Museum when I was there for the Dutch Pen Show. Of course, I had to visit the museum. I got to visit with Yost too. We had so much fun looking at all these paintings. He's never been there before. Can you believe that? Just crazy. Oh, there it is. Okay. So here is the painting in its entirety that this pen is based off of. So as you can see, the color scheme matches very well, right? So I think Visconti did a very nice job with that. I'm waiting for the pen that's, you know, the courtesan one. Look at the colors there. That's going to be pretty nice if they do that. Let's take a closer look at the pen now that we've seen the artwork that the pen is based on. Let's take a closer look at the faceted aspect as it collects light and reflects it. Of course, it has that famous clip for the Ponte Vecchio that is located in Florence, where Visconti is also located. The band at the bottom of the cap says Van Gogh. You know what I miss about some of it, because some of my pens, they're from when these pens were first being created. some of the pens have the name of the painting on the band, and I miss that. I think that these pens should have that. I don't think it should just say Van Gogh. I think it should have the name of, although some of the titles might be a little too long, but that's okay. They can stack the text. I mean, gosh, there's a solution, for crying out loud. Underneath, we've got the nib, and it's a metal section, which, you know, I mean, I know that I keep saying this about a lot of pens with these metal sections. It would be nice if the section was created from the same resin, but I do, again, appreciate the details of the gold section and the end of the barrel matching. And by the way, the barrel doesn't have anything on it. It would be cool if they have like maybe a little portrait of Van Gogh on there, you know, with his little hat on, maybe a little pipe hanging out of his mouth. That'd be kind of cute. At the end of the cap, there is the V that it could also be changed out. You know, Visconti has those little medallion things that you could pop this out and put in, like, you know, it has like a little semi-precious gemstone on it, so you can dress up your pen and all that. The nib is a stainless steel nib. Appelboom, who sent this pen over to me. Appelboom sent me a very fine pen, and it does write very fine. I'm not really much of a fine pen user, though, you know, there are situations where I do find that a fine nib comes in handy, especially you're writing on crappy paper, you know, where the ink tends to feather and bleed. This is actually a really good solution to that. The nib is special because it has Vincent's signature on it and has a plastic feed. It is a cartridge converter, so I have it inked up with the namesake ink in there, and it has a V for Visconti on that converter. Does the pen post? Yeah, it does post. It's a friction post. I don't post my pens, but if I were to post my pen, especially on this pen, the cap actually doesn't weigh the pen down a lot, and it feels very comfortable still. It actually feels very balanced, in my opinion. So, I mean, if I were a person that did post my pens, which I don't, you know, this would actually be pretty nice. But I like the way it feels without being posted. I like a lighter pen, and this to me feels pretty nice. Next thing we're going to take a look at is the video of me unboxing and inking this pen and performing a writing sample. All right, let's take a look. See, it writes very fine, and I have bigger handwriting, so that actually feels kind of tough to write with. But if I wrote smaller, and if you're a person who writes smaller, this would actually be a good nib for you. For me, I like more of a medium to a broad. That's just my preference. So just a huge thank you to Appelboom, which is located in Laren in the Netherlands, and also they have a store in Boston. So thank you very much for sending this over for me to review. I appreciate it. It's a very nice pen, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're a collector of this series. You should totally add this to your collection. And the cool thing about these pens is that the resins are completely randomized. You know, like one pen might have more, you know, of this like white in it, or more green in it, or more red in it. So it's kind of cool to see what kind of combination you end up with. I also forgot to mention about this cap that it is a magnetic closure, so which is nice. It doesn't just come right off, so I could feel that magnet pull on the cap to keep it on, which is really cool. So I realized I forgot to say something about that, and now I have. You're welcome. At Appelboom, the last time I checked, this pen was about $263, which I don't think that's bad. Appelboom also ships very fast. They ship DHL overnight. Well, maybe it takes a couple of days, but it does get here very fast, so it's nice. It's definitely worth the price. It's definitely worth it to add it to your collection. So that's really all I have to say about this pen, other than I love it. I hope you learned a little more about the Visconti Van Gogh collection, and be sure to go check it out over at Appelboom. They also have other pen brands, other Visconti pens that you might be interested in. Well, that's all I have to say about that, and that's how the ink flows.